What's up, guys? Welcome back to Drink Up a Richie Tea. We're out here in Blanco, Texas at Milam and Greene, formerly known as Ben Milam. They're making some fantastic bourbons out here. I'm going to be hanging out with Marlene Holmes, who's actually 30 years been distilling and just continuing to do amazing things, and we're going to go hang out with her. Also, make sure you guys are subscribing, commenting, checking out all the content that's already been coming out, and the Food and Beverage Magazine podcast that I'm doing, go check that out. We got some new stuff coming out there, and Instagram and Twitter, I'm posting something new every single day. But right now, we're going to go in here, we're going to do some bourbons, we're going to be doing some straight from the barrel stuff, so let's go, guys. What's going on?
Hi, Richie. How you doing?
What's good?
Welcome to Milam and Greene.
Yeah, I'm ready to drink up. Are you?
Ready to drink up? Let's do it.
I'm ready.
Okay. First drink to start with is our Milam and Greene port rye. And we did a blend of rye, and we had port barrels come in from Portugal.
What kind of port?
And
Chinese
it is. I think a couple of them are ruby that we still have sitting, so we haven't gotten into those yet.
Yeah.
But yes, and we let them set. Some of them have set for about 5 weeks, just pulling that port taste
That
out
flavor.
of that wood. And but it is really nice. Let's give it a try here. And it's at 94 proof.
Nice color on it. How old's the whiskey roughly going into the port? Port,
The
guys?
whiskey going in is around 4 to 6 years. Yeah. Has a
Ooh.
beautiful color
Yeah.
about the smell on
A little
it.
floral.
It's, a hint of that port in there makes it really nice.
It does. Dry fruits. I always smell mine for a little while. Everybody just, as y'all know, sit there and we
Oh, I
smell
love
and we get in the
Yeah,
smells and
That's
Smell for 20
the
minutes.
favorite thing that I love about it is the smell,
I'm getting
smell of it and the color of it.
getting sweet
And then
cake.
naturally the taste too, but
Sweet cakes, huh?
very nice. And
Very
it
nice.
stays in the barrel anywhere from, it depends on how long we've had the barrels, 5 to 6 weeks. We've got some down in the rick house right now that's been sitting in the barrel for about 3 months.
That's a nice rye. And it's already rounded out. This is for someone that doesn't want that rye scratch.
Right.
This doesn't have that super rye scratchiness to it. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
And you don't get too many ryes that are done in port that I've seen lately. A couple different people have, but this is awesome.
We think it's real good. We
yeah.
we worked on it,
It's soft.
Heather and Jordan and I,
What was the proof on it?
we worked on it 94.
94.
Yeah, just real smooth. Has a great finish on it. You get a little of that port there at the beginning of it, and then that rye kind of finishes off, and
Still got that
Very
nice thickness
nice.
too, and that probably comes from the
yeah,
port. And nice. I always call it whole milk when I describe it. It's real thick, and then you get your 2%, and then your
There you
1%
go.
where they're real
Right.
light and
right.
yeah. So the idea of doing a port, where'd your idea come from?
That actually come from Heather. It was her idea for us to just experiment. You know, that's one thing that we want to do here is create and do a lot of different things. We distill here, we blend here, we batch here. We're bringing whiskey in from other places. We're going to other places to make whiskey, and
this is available. It's starting to be going out yet, or has
it
been
is.
released yet?
It was released in October. It's the latest label that we've had come out.
I haven't seen it yet. That's awesome.
Ben Milam is still around. We've
Yeah.
still got our Ben Milam single barrel,
Going out.
barrel proof, and our rye there. But the Milam and Greene, just hit the shelves a few months ago.
This is good. First dram of the day.
I love it. It's just got a real nice feel to it, mouth feel to it.
I mean, I'm even getting tropical notes now.
finishes off real nice.
Oh, melons.
Yeah. Really?
No,
Yeah.
That's definitely from the port. That is awesome. All right, so what we got next?
Okay.
Go from rye.
Yeah, we'll go from rye. This is our triple cast.
Ooh.
Now this triple cast is I'm a little partial to this one. This has our juice in it.
Yeah, this
Juice
one
that we
that's
made
one
here.
you actually made here
Yeah.
and aging.
Yeah, we actually
Not
sat
sourced,
down as a group last summer. It's been over a year ago now, and sat down as a group. And Heather took us through a blending class,
Yeah.
and we come up with this blend and the proof on it. And
I remember talking to you about that. I know y'all got the source stuff first.
right,
Kind of get started, kind of get going, while you've been waiting for everything to age.
right, that's
and
right.
that's usually what a lot of people will do.
Yeah,
Just because it's better, so you have time, so you can make money and
That's
make,
right,
make time
yeah.
to.
Yeah.
And also this goes into the
we don't
nose.
want to drop ours too early before it's before it's ready.
Wants to be ready to go.
Before it's ready to dump.
Ooh, little bananas. What are you getting in that? A little oak.
I get a little oak, maybe a little bit of the woodiness. I think that comes out of the older whiskey that's in there. Then I get a little of the grains taste, the grassiness.
What's also cool is I tell people, you're the palate.
Yeah.
So you're the one that's picking the ones you're making sure they're ready. When they're ready, you're
Right.
And a lot of people think they're fans of the whiskey, and really more they should be fans of the distillers because they're the ones that are picking it. Because you got to know when to take it out.
Right.
You got to know
Yeah.
what you're blending them to. You got to know when it tastes right, when it
Right.
doesn't, and it's just that goes.
Yeah,
into the whole
we
thing.
pull a lot of samples, do a lot of tasting. Because you can't, if you leave it too long, you can't pull it back. So we do pull a lot of samples, do a lot of tasting. But ours adds, our 2-year-old that's in here, I think adds a little punch to it, adds a little excitement to it. The older whiskey kind of rounds it out a bit. The 4-year-old that's in here adds a little bit of the vanillas and the caramels, a little bit of the sweetness that you pick up on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got
Sweet,
a lot going on about it.
I get
It
bananas
does.
still. I get like a banana pie. A little cinnamon. It's in there.
This too as
This
well.
one's real light and smooth, easy.
Yeah,
That's what
it
definitely
is.
for the.
Yeah, it's a great sipping whiskey.
For those
It is
guys.
wonderful.
I do everything straight. I know a lot of people like to use
Do you?
ice, and there's nothing wrong with using ice.
Yeah.
I just like doing everything straight because it's the only way I can really get the full
Right.
essence.
That's the way with me. I occasionally will put an ice cube.
Once in a
generally
blue,
it's just
it's
a
been a while.
straight shot. Yeah.
Man, I like that. Because I remember we'll do that in a second. But when we pull them out of the barrels, that's when it's
Yeah.
where it's
Well, that's all genuine when it comes out of the barrel.
Yeah.
It's pure at that point.
And how much do you pull out of barrels probably a week? Like to taste and sample? Do you do it kind of every day?
Oh, we do.
Yeah,
We
have to, right?
we bottle every day. Yeah. So every barrel that we bring up, Jordan and Canyon and our Canyon's our assistant here, brewer, distiller, and we taste every barrel that we bring up out of the rick house. And if it doesn't meet our satisfaction, then the bung goes back in. It goes back to the rick house, and we just don't drop them before their time or for whatever reason. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Ben Milam barrel proof. This one's 118.6. So we'll give it a taste.
Right out of the barrel to the bottom.
I love the barrel proofs. They just surprise you. You never know until you pull the bung on the barrel just exactly what you're going to get as far as flavor and taste and nose.
I actually talk to people about like being addicted to new flavors every time. Like how I like to sample something new every day or see something new,
Right, yeah.
And taste something new. A lot of people get caught in the rhythm of just drinking one thing every single day. And that's the beauty of like, single barrels and stuff where it's different every time.
That's right.
I am excited about this one. I do love those non-diluted right out.
You get I get that sweetness right off.
Sweet right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Raisins. Ooh. A little raisin. little bread.
That's good. Yeah, that's real tasty. For 118 proof.
Yeah.
It's got a wonderful mouthfeel.
It's great.
It is.
Long finish, as usual, with higher alcohols.
Yeah.
But it's not overly spicy, which I see in some. It's got a nice back feel.
Right. Little spiciness there on the taste.
A little char too.
Up in
a
your
little
mouth.
char. That is nice. And that's available only here, or is it?
No, that's out.
That batch.
That's out in the market.
What in the world?
Yeah.
That is a cool barrel proof.
Yeah, it's surprising that it's a 118 proof, and then to have the mouthfeel that it has for 118 proof.
I mean, yeah,
it's very nice.
It's very coating, but you know what? It's not as full body. That's awesome. I mean, it's full body, but it's not as like I've had some that are super like chewy. This one's like real smooth.
It sticks with you. It hangs in your mouth there for a while, but yeah.
Also, their glasses that a lot of people are big, huge fans of. A lot of people don't have these little, almost like mini wine glasses kind of thing. Like stemless, but really neat. I like that one.
There's some of these barrels when we open them, and it's like they just jump right out of the barrel, the smell and the aroma off of them, the sweetness of just, we had one day, the caramel like come up when the bung did, and it just wrapped around you and gave you a hug. It was just loaded with the caramel taste. So
definitely gives that
that's a fun thing about opening the barrels. It'll surprise you what you'll get out of them sometime.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Always so different. So I was talking to you a while back. The yeast they are using, you said you're the only people that you know of that actually use two different and blend them.
We do, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's very different.
You know, you've got Four Roses that has different yeast. And, I'm not real familiar with how I think, their yeast is fermentation is separate from the other yeast strains that they have. But yeah, we'll blend our yeast. We'll do a few mashes with one yeast for fermentation, and then we'll do a few more mashes, and we mingle those together to come up with the taste profile that we have.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to come up with something different, a nice taste that's different from what the other folks are doing. Yeah, it is. It's a great. I love a barrel proof. The color, is fantastic.
Natural colors, yeah. I mean, zooming in there. I mean, the legs on it are great.
Legs, I mean, the actual drips. Everybody kind of shows you that everything that's going on. But the color is pretty fantastic.
And how old is that? Same kind of 4 to 5?
No, that would be an older. That would be a 12-year-old.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was talking to people about like appreciating like the ages. I talk to people about that, how they don't really realize 12 years is a long time. Like, because I'm a big Scotch man. That's my number one expertise. I love Scotch,
I see. Right.
And I talk to people about that. And some of the distillers over there, I was talking to them about how they'll do their first casting, and then they have to wait at least 12 years to taste. And then they'll do their second cast. I mean, obviously they're casting continuously, but that first casting that distiller did, he only gets to taste like 3 or 4 of them. Because by that time, he's already 30 or 40 years, he's getting close to being 40 years in. Right. So, I mean, by that time, he doesn't get to taste his first castings.
Right, yeah.
And that's just crazy to think about.
I know, I can imagine. Yeah.
Something I made, I'm not really going to get the taste.
Time, right.
Yeah, because I mean, think about the 40-year ones. The guys that casted that 40-year one,
sure,
he's probably dead.
Right.
He's not around. Right. So people need to appreciate that's 12 years old. That's a long time. That's older than people,
Yeah, that's right.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but every barrel's different. It'll age. It'll age out different out of every barrel.
Mm-hmm. And there's overaging. You can screw it up.
Right.
Especially here at hot.
Yeah, that's why we pull samples, on a regular basis and give our whiskey a taste to see how it's coming along.
Cool.
Yeah, you don't want it to go too far.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go with our Ben Milam single barrel. Yeah.
Cool.
This is an 86 proof, and this would be around 11 or 12-year-old whiskey.
I think this is the first one I ever had from y'all. A while back, maybe not this one, but
Yeah. Ben Milam.
the first label.
Yeah.
See, now that has.
So I get kind of like sweet grapes on it, like a. What do you get on that? That's something smells. I'm
Well,
gonna
I
pick that up.
definitely get the sweetness right off the bat.
Watermelon.
Yeah, you've got a great nose going on there for sure.
Well, it's just. I really like to get in there and. People don't get used to it, but like when I talk about how you gotta open your mouth, a lot of
Right.
people get their mouth
Yeah.
closed and they get that singe on
Yeah.
their nose. They don't experience it. I don't know. Ooh,
That's
yeah,
nice.
easy.
Little cinnamon maybe there at the very
Definitely.
beginning of it.
Definitely cinnamon. A little nutmeg, a little nuttiness to it. And with the mash on this one, is it lower on the rye or is it heavier on rye?
It's a 22%
Okay,
on the rye. Yeah.
that's what
So
I'm
it
getting.
brings out a little
That's
bit.
what I'm tasting.
you
I
get a
taste it
little
on
bit
palate.
spice. Yeah.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like
right
that.
Off. Yeah.
It's almost like a high rye.
It's a little lighter. Being an 86 proof, finish on it though hangs with you a little bit.
That's good.
Very nice. Yeah. But that's still around, our Ben Milam,
Yeah, I've seen it.
We'll
I've seen
still
that in
have
bars.
that label as well, that'll match, go along with our Milam and Greene. It'll stay with us, yeah.
I like this. That barrel proof is real good.
Yeah, that barrel proof's excellent. Look, the color on it sitting alongside the others. It's beautiful.
This is for, I'm gonna think though, the one we're drinking now. This is gonna be definitely for the big, like the nicer, regular, easy bourbon drinker. Very
Right.
easy.
Yeah,
It's not overly heavy,
yeah,
but it's definitely easy enough to sip.
yeah. We've always kind of built it as a nice, just
Just sipping easy.
sipping whiskey. Yeah. I like to tell people, they ask me how do I drink mine, and I generally always drink it
Right.
neat. Occasionally, depends on, if it's hot weather, I might drop an ice cube in it. But I tell people to drink it however, you're
Yeah.
gonna like it best to drink it.
There's no wrong way.
That's right.
I would say like
yeah.
if you're gonna mix something, don't spend $1 million mixing something. There's no point.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like this, I put a cube, but really,
A little splash of
Okay.
water in it.
drink this straight all day. I mean, even a couple of drops will change it. I like to tell people that just because, even a couple of drops will change it. That's why, like, when I do a tasting, even if I'm pouring, say we're only using one glass, I'll drink mine and make sure I drink everything in there, and then I'll just pour the next one into it. Even if it mixes just that touch, that's not going to make a difference.
Right.
Now, if you wash your glass out and you
Yeah.
pour it in there, it's got those it's got
Right.
the drips.
That'll
Totally changes
it'll
and screws
change
it up.
It will.
So,
Yeah.
and that's just my opinion and my palate and everything. I mean, you want to do that?
Yeah.
No
And it's
wrong.
great to experiment. Just take a straw,
Just
a
pop,
little
pop.
sipping straw,
Mhm.
yeah, and then a drop or two, and give it a little different taste, and kind of play with it a little bit, and find
And you
that taste, how you like to drink.
And you can
it.
order like
It's-
limestone waters and stuff online. I've seen
Right.
that. Like, where
Yeah.
I got a guy gift me one of those, and like I'll let people use that limestone water. That way, it's nice and clean water, and
Sure.
you're not
Yeah.
getting some. In San Antonio, where I'm based out of, the
Right.
water's very. It's got a lot of calcium in it, so it
see.
can change things up.
Right.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys got a lot of really good selections here too.
Well, the last one we've got in the lineup is our rye. Ben
You
Milam
love ryes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when I go old fashioned, when I get an old fashioned, I use rye.
Right.
I like
Yes.
rye because if I do
Yes.
bourbon,
It's a little too sweet for me just
Yeah.
because of the sugars. They're using that sugar in there.
This is an
And-
86 also.
Okay.
Yeah.
And rye is just a whole other beast of deliciousness. Ooh.
We have a lot of folks that come in and just really go on about our rye. They love our rye.
I like this.
Mm-hmm.
This has that like
Very
nice
nice.
charry body. Like got that like earthy rock road kind of nice feel. But then you get the sweetness through that. You catch the sweetness and it pierces through. It doesn't singe your nose here. It's crazy, but it gets you a little
It's
pop.
not.
It does a little
Right.
pop, but I mean,
Yeah.
some of the ryes that will get you.
It's
How much-
subtle. It's a nice. We have a lot of ladies that come in that are not whiskey or bourbon drinkers per se, and they will try our rye, and they really like it. Yeah, they really like it.
It's got that nice sweet medicinal. You know, the rye always has a little type of medicinal, no matter what. This is the rye because it has that scratch to it. That's good. I like this.
Yeah, that spiciness is just
Yeah.
it's got
But it's not overboard.
real subtle.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
And I know, so if it has to be 51% rye to be a rye, how much percentage of rye do y'all have here? Yeah.
That's 95.
Okay, that's what.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I prefer more than 95 or 100.
Yeah.
I have the ones that are lower, and for some reason that just doesn't fit my palate usually. I haven't had one that has hit it right. That's been lower than 95. And it's not 100%. That's a true rye, right?
Yeah.
Usually I like smell it and I'm like, it's something. And that's before I know.
Right. Yeah.
Like I was waiting to ask you so I could taste it first, and I was like, wow, yeah, 95, yeah. This would be awesome in a Manhattan.
Good.
I like
It
an old
is.
fashioned.
Oh yeah.
I
It's
mean, straight,
great.
of course, too.
Right.
But I'm just thinking,
Yeah. We serve a lot of old fashions out of
Sazerac.
Yeah.
you ever
Yeah.
done a Sazerac with this?
I have not. Yeah.
So that'd be really nice.
Yeah.
Just because it'll really complement the absinthe. Really depending on what absinthe you use, but yeah.
But that's our lineup. Yeah. And then we've got an in-house gin
Really?
that we only sell in-house. Yeah, we make just a small quantity of gin, but that's our whiskey lineup,
That's
bourbon
awesome.
lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
We're
go.
real excited about the Milam and Greene. We're just
Oh yeah, me
especially
too. I was super
with
excited.
us,
Come out
yeah,
here.
especially with us having
Yeah.
our juice in it. It's special and
Yeah, we'll go. We'll go tour and kind of check
Okay.
it out. We'll get a dram and we'll walk around, and then
Okay.
we'll be back to do the gin.
okay, sounds great.
Yeah.
Cool, that'll work. This is our distillery. Yeah. Well, it's what we're doing here with the water. These are more of our port barrels.
Okay.
And so they recommend that we put warm water on the heads and let them soak like for 24 hours just to make sure that head is sealed well and
I've
just
never
to
heard of
swell that up.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, that's
That's a good idea.
yeah, because these barrels are expensive. You
Yeah.
know, they're quite expensive, so we don't want to put our product in there and then end up
Lose a lot of
with
lose a lot of product.
yeah, with a leak in it. So this will help swell that wood.
Yeah, those ported sherry ones. I know some of them. I mean, you gotta wait. I mean, you have to get on the list and wait for some of the certain
Right.
ones.
Yeah, they're not
Ever.
easy
Yeah.
to come across at all.
That's really cool. I've never
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Swell it up.
Okay.
So here's the stuff y'all are working with.
This is our equipment. We've got a Vendome copper still. That's a 300-gallon copper still. Now we use a 200-gallon capacity, and but yeah, that's makes a good. You want to look in, or because I've got to step up. I've got to have to step up to it as well. But our cooker, our fermenters, yeah. It's now our cooker is a 200-gallon capacity, so that's the size volume that we deal with. Each batch is each batch is a 200-gallon capacity, and but yeah we mash every day except for Wednesdays. And those are fermenters, 200-gallon fermenters. Now we've got jackets that we put on those fermenters. That's what these are.
Yeah.
And it just helps keep a little bit of that heat in during the
Really?
fermentation, so that when it gets on the tail end of the fermentation, the temperature doesn't drop down on them quite as low.
That's
yeah,
cool.
so we snug them up a little bit.
There's
at
little
the
stuff
end of
like
the day.
that people don't
think about.
Yeah.
I don't know
Right.
unless you've been in the business for
Yeah.
30 years.
Well,
50 years.
That's
awesome.
I actually picked that up from one of the old timers that I
Yeah.
worked with years ago. The jug yeast. When
Yeah.
we would make jug yeast in the wintertime, we would wrap that jug kettle up with a sleeping bag, just to hold a little bit
Just
of
to
that
hold it in
heat
there.
just
Yeah,
to
that's
hold a
cool.
little heat in. Yeah.
Cook a little more.
Yeah. So we do four batches a week, and we mingle those 4 batches. That's what this other tank is. We use 200 gallons tank there, just to mingle those batches together to get a little more consistent flavor.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, come on, make it a little bit consistent. Don't
Yeah.
get too crazy
Right,
different. 'Cause
right,
then,
yeah.
You know.
And then we do our spirit runs on Wednesday, but every day we've got our pot still running, either low
Putting-
wines or
putting
high
work on
wine.
Working on that pot still.
Yeah,
Putting mileage on it.
yeah, putting some mileage on it, yeah.
You know, I'm sure it was designed by somebody in Kentucky.
Vendome,
I
yeah.
was like, yep.
Yeah, it's a Vendome pot still. There's a lot of good,
Big name. It's
good
good name.
names out there, I'm
Definitely.
sure, but, you know, these guys have been around for over 100 years.
Yeah, I mean, they know
And they,
how to work that copper.
They do,
For
they
sure.
do a great job, and it's a lot of fun. I learned on a column still.
Really?
And that column still was 4 feet high, and it was almost 5 feet in diameter. We'd run almost 200 gallons a minute through it. And, so I learned.
That is different.
I learned on a pot still just here in the last couple of years.
Okay.
But it's great to be able to, you've got your finished product that comes off the condenser out
You
of
can
this
control a
tube.
little bit more with the copper one.
Yeah.
I feel like you have a little
Yeah.
more
You've
control.
got, you've got your taste right here.
Mhm.
And when that distillate's coming out, you can taste it at any point in time and make adjustments as needed. But yeah,
That's nice still.
this has been in about 2 months now. Yeah. Yes, that's about 117 proof. Have me one of your glasses there. Yeah. I haven't tasted this one in, it's a couple of weeks now. We'll see.
Yeah.
Put a little bit of that back
Yeah.
in there. That's a pretty good shot there. But this has been in about 2 months in this barrel. Yeah.
Now I'm getting amazing everything. So much dry fruit and apricot. Like, there's a lot of apricots.
Yeah.
Yeah, creamy. You'll see stuff floating in there, but you always want that. And I always preach you want that stuff floating in it. That's where all the flavor is. The more you take out of it, right? The more you're making it like vodka. It's not creamy. The color on that is nice.
This is our second fill. The first
Second
fill
fill,
was in.
the first one?
Yeah, first one was in about 6 weeks, and we've dumped it, and then and this is about 3 barrels of
Yeah.
53 gallon.
I also talked to people about how you can
Right, we put it in.
reuse. They don't think you can reuse barrels forever. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
As long as they'll hold the juice, yeah.
because
As
you
long
and me
as
will be
they'll
long
hold it.
gone. Our grandkids will still
Yeah.
they'll probably still be reusing
Yeah.
some of these barrels.
Right, keep a little moisture in them, and
Yeah.
they'll stay intact. But we did the same thing with it.
Same
Put a
thing as we
little
did over
water,
there.
put a little water on the head of it,
Swell
and
'em.
then flipped it to swell it up before we put anything in there. That's perfect. That's wonderful like that.
I would,
I know.
in my opinion, I would bottle it like that.
I'd bottle it.
You know,
Yeah.
I get well, no, I get something different on that one. It's not nutmeg, but it's a type of. There's another spice I'm getting in there. I feel like a sage.
Is that right? Sage, nice.
Yeah, it's dry, fruity, and creamy, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
dangerous. I can see some
I
of
think
that.
a little bit of raisin. I get a little.
I get yeah, I
little
definitely get the dry fruit.
chocolate. Little spiciness.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's ready.
It would be
But-
this would be a great barrel proof, but we need it to go in our
Yeah, I
blend,
know.
so I'm afraid I'll get overruled on that part of it.
Well, my vote is do that as one single batch, make it a little more pricey.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah. Cheers to that.
Cheers to
I can
that.
go
Drink
with
that, you know?
Yeah. Very nice.
Think about, like just a real question. So coming in here, you come in here, do you like actually like start like looking at each different age and like which one should I try today? Which batch should I try? Or do you have like a log that you know what you need to try next?
Well, I know what we've got, you know, the age on them, what we've got. I know all these 30 gallons that we have over here are about 16 months or less in age. I know that these bigger barrels, the 53 gallons are 2-year-old or
Do you
less.
prefer the bigger, or do you like the actual smaller stuff?
You know, this is still something that we're
Texas.
kind of,
Like
yeah,
Texas,
it is, that we're still kind of working on, you know, trying to figure out. But the 30-gallon barrels actually are working really well for us. They're toasted, they're a char-free barrel,
Okay.
and they're coming along really, really nice in the smaller barrels.
A lot of Texas whiskeys are doing better with the smaller ones.
Yeah. Now that's about as small as we have went. Now that's not to say that what we've got here in the 53 gallons, it's just going to take them a little bit longer,
yeah.
to come along. Yeah, but as you can tell in here, we've got this warehouse insulated.
Oh, big time.
So we're trying to keep the temperature down in the
Have you
summertime.
ever thought about like doing like any kind of digging?
We have. We have thought about that, but yeah. As a matter of fact,
Idea man.
Yeah, the first summer I was here, one of the suggestions I had was like to dig into this the ground behind the distillery here.
I think some of the older, maybe I'll decide like, why don't we do one that's an older release, that's a way older, like there's no super old Texas whiskeys.
Yeah,
Figure out a way to get the right climate when we're down there.
that's right. Yeah, right.
Way older whiskey.
But we try to keep the air, as you can feel, there's
it's
an
nice and chilly in
airflow in here. Yeah, it's
nice.
very cool.
It's cool
But
in here.
we lifted the side walls up on the rick house, and we've got vents in the roof, so we've got airflow going through here all the time. And we try to keep the temperature down the best we can, so we'll get that in and out action in the barrel. Yeah.
Especially when the summertime hits and it starts
Yeah.
getting real
Yeah.
hot.
But this is some what we've just barreled here in the last couple of weeks is what we've got. Now, as we go back this way, will be some of our older whiskey
Older ones.
that we put in.
You kind of
Yeah.
moving forward as you go. Do you rotate? Y'all rotate them?
We don't. No, we don't. It's just we're just gonna let them sit
See what
and
happens.
kind of do their own thing, you know. And if we get a little variance in them, that'll be okay. Every barrel's a little different anyway. Like these 2 barrels on this rack were distilled within the same week, and they were barreled within the same week. But I can tell you, those barrels will taste a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
You know, depends on the
Newer,
wood.
too.
Yeah, the wood, what part of the tree the wood come from, you know, if it's the top or the bottom part of the wood.
Yeah, people don't even think about the whole wood psychology.
Yeah.
And
Oh, there's a lot to
wood
that.
chemistry
Yeah.
and all that. I was talking to a guy that was a chemist that actually like studied woods one time.
Right?
And I'm not very versed in that yet. I mean, I've been reading things here and there, and I've started to get into it. That's nuts that you can get something totally different. The top, the fresh wood, to the older woods that are like 100 years old.
Yeah.
And you think about
Yeah.
like the different flavors probably come out of them.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
One of the best tours I've had that is related to the whiskey business was going to the cooperage in Kentucky and going through their facility to see how a barrel is actually put together. It's fascinating. But yeah, I've got a stave. I've got one laying around here someplace that'll give you a little bit of an idea of how the liquid actually soaks into the wood. Yeah, but let me.
We'll share. I got this.
Because a lot of people, you know, don't hear a lot about the wood and the importance that it plays in our product. But you can see that liquid line, and that's how much into that wood stave that liquid actually went into.
and out.
Yeah. And you can get a little bit of the char look here, that alligator, they call it an alligator look on that char. This is a char 4.
It starts breaking up in there and getting in
Yeah,
the wood and then just
that's-
starts floating.
And that's where all of our color comes from. And Yeah, it's just there's a lot of fascination about that's a big part of the business.
You know, it's another cool thing. Just side note, barbecue something. Put one of those in there.
That's right. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen that. They do that in Napa with some of the wine barrels.
I see.
They'll do different
Sure.
types of like meats and fish, and
Right.
they'll use that
To
to throw
get
in
that
with the barbecue. It's
flavor.
really cool. Yeah.
Get some of the
And
flavor
it's pretty
off
intense,
of it.
and I just tell people
Yeah.
that so they can. So this is where it's at.
There we go.
Learning all these new deals. This is where people start getting. I feel like doing stuff like this is where people start really learning their palate. You know, or if they really want to get involved. Oh, you can smell that fresh grain.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this
Big
hasn't been
time.
this hadn't been in the barrel very long.
Oatmeal.
We'll see how much color that we've got about it. It's not gonna have a lot, but it'll have a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, that still has the green smell
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, see how light it is. How long has it been in there?
Let me see what the age on that one is. That has been in since, that's only been in the barrel about 2 months now. Yeah,
But look, it's already
Yeah.
already got
yeah.
nice little stuff floating.
From what I understand, about 10 months, in about 10 months' time, a lot of the color will already be there.
Mm-hmm.
That's at 110 proof.
I mean, you definitely still get the grainy, you know, like moonshiny.
You do,
kind of
yeah.
thing. But you also start getting oak though. I'm getting oak on it. Definitely. Still tastes good.
Yeah, that's nice.
So
Yeah,
smooth,
that's got a good taste.
Real sweet. Different like
Yeah.
sweetness.
We drop our barrel proof down to 110. We had started out at 120. We went to 115. Now we're at 110. And the thought behind that is by adding a little more water at the beginning will help pull more of those caramels, the sweet flavors out of the wood. So that's why we've dropped that entry proof down a little bit and just experimenting.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know, still trying to figure out exactly what's going to happen here with the aging down in Texas. We've got some barrels that we're going to send to Washington State, New York, Nevada, different places around the country, and sample it and see over the years.
Yeah, see what goes on, yeah.
months, see how it ages out. The environment makes a big difference in the
It's all about
aging.
experimenting.
It
It's a
is,
big thing
yeah.
of anything in distilling.
Absolutely. Different proofs.
Trial and error.
That's why we're kind of jumping around a little bit there on our proof is, just see what's going to work best.
It's really cool to get a fresh one like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get to taste the actual fresh couple
Yeah.
months in.
That's
They
nice.
usually have something that's aged, or they have something that's like straight out of the still, and that's all.
Right. But
Yeah,
it's
cool.
amazing how quick it starts to
It's a
pick up some
change,
color.
color.
Looking at the age on it there again, actually, that's only been in there about 5 weeks now. Yeah, hadn't been in
I
there
mean, it's
long
already
while.
starting to get, yeah. It's like a
That's
kind of like
sweet.
a rouge.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of an apricot
Mm-hmm.
color, like an apricot or something. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
So going into this, I want to say, what got you into distilling? That was the biggest question I've had in my mind to ask you.
Well, a lot of people ask me that, and it's a bit of a fish story actually. I had a job working there in Louisville, Kentucky, and it wasn't particularly what I was real crazy about doing, but I had a 30-acre farm in Kentucky, and I had horses, and as you know, horses don't make you any money. They cost you money, but it was a lot of fun, horse riding, back riding and what have you. And so I wanted to make some money on that property, and I thought about a catfish farm because I had a small lake. And so I go talk to my county extension officer, and he said, well, there's a distillery, Jim Beam Distillery. There's a guy there who's the master distiller, Booker Noe, and he's got this experiment he's wanting to do with dried grain, using dried grain for fish food. Now, a lot of farmers used spent stillage, dried grain goes into cattle feed, livestock feed. So anyway, he said, you ought to talk to him. So I did. So I ended up being the fish feeder for the Booker Knoll plant. They bought like 1,000 catfish fingerlings, had this huge cage made. They dropped it down in this lake that they had there on the property, and I would go in every day and feed the fish. So in the summer of doing that, the summer of 1989, I met a lot of the guys that worked there at the distillery. I would go in the afternoons to feed the fish, and they'd have a grill pulled out, and they'd be grilling steaks, hamburgers, hot dogs. And I'm like, I've never worked any place, where you could do stuff like that. And it just seemed like a different environment, real laid back environment. And so I fed fish that summer, found out that they were going to be hiring some people later in the year. And I applied, and the rest is history.
Then started getting in everything in distilling and working your way up through the ranks of. I
did. I started out on third shift. I spent 10 years as a third shift distillery operator. So the Booker Knoll distillery was built in the 40s. So needless to say, it was a pretty old facility.
A lot of history, though.
It was a lot of history there. And the folks that I trained with, that trained me in the business, had been there for many years. So I learned, from the old timers, so to speak.
Little things here and there that people don't know and see. And
it's like back then, they would tell somebody or call somebody that would proof whiskey. They would call them a whiskey cutter. That was the title name that was given to them. So, I learned a lot of the process from the guys that had been in the business for many years.
So going into that, another question was, were you a bourbon drinker way before that? Or did you get into it because of that?
Not pretty much because of that.
So you didn't drink much at all? Okay.
Yeah. I was pretty much a beer drinker up to that point.
Not so bad.
And once I was in the business, then
just took off and get interested. You start. I mean, I've done that. That's what happened to me. You start getting interested. You start learning, and then it's like it's really cool. And, all the little tidbits and side things.
Right.
So what made you move into suddenly being like, well, who got you linked up with Ben Milam?
Well, there was a guy that I worked with. He was our maintenance manager, and he got into the consulting business a few years ago. And he brought a group into the Booker Knoll plant where I worked at, and him and I just in normal conversation about retirement, what are you going to do, what's your plans, and what have you. We talked a little bit, and I didn't see him again for like a year, and he calls me one day on the phone, and he says, there's this small distillery upstart. They're looking for a distiller.
You heard Texas.
And I did. When he told me it was Texas, I was, it kind of threw me because I had always just pretty much thought about just, staying in Kentucky. Didn't think about moving really any place else, but it intrigued me. And I thought, if I don't look into this opportunity, who knows?
Yeah.
So, so
it worked out. I mean, you're making some really awesome stuff, and some of the new stuff coming out is going to be fantastic.
Oh, it's wonderful. And we've got a great team here. That was one of the things that pulled me to Ben Milam, was the people that I met that were involved with it. They were passionate. They were committed to making a good product and all, and having fun at the same time too.
Yeah.
So
that's what it's about, especially going to new distilleries. What I see is it's all the small, the people that are there.
And we've got a great group. Everybody brings something a little bit different to the table as far as our team
Just
members.
Everything together, and you got to be a team to make it all
That's
work
right.
together.
And and with Heather coming on board last year with us, kind of completed that puzzle.
Made everything right,
that
and then
piece
now
of the
it's,
puzzle.
now we're putting out good stuff.
That's
It's
right.
delicious.
Our Milam and Greene, we're real proud of it. We're proud of all of our labels that we've got.
This barrel proof is
That's
a
a
lot.
special one,
Oh yeah. So taking it forward, are you going to continue to experiment and just keep going, and you want to put out more and more new things and try to break barriers, or is it really
Absolutely we do.
Yeah.
We've we've got some barrel whiskey that we're going to send around the country to see how other environments affect the aging process. We're going to do that. We're going to other distilleries to make whiskey. We're going to blend, we're going to batch, we're going to try to just encompass the whole gambit of
That's awesome.
behind
to be able to do
bourbon
that, to send it and see
whiskey.
climates
Yeah,
and really get to know your product even more,
that's right.
just even more in depth,
Yeah.
just how it handles every certain
Right.
situation.
We're experimenting with our barrels, different char levels, toasting, not toasting, different barrel entry. So there's a lot of fun things that we've got
great
in
stuff.
store that we're gonna play around with, and time will tell.
I mean, yeah, it's exciting. I was super excited to be here. I want to thank you so much for letting me be here and coming to hang out with me.
Well, thank you for coming out, Richie, and
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
I learn
It's
a
a
lot
lot of
from you
fun.
every time. Every time I talk to you, I learn something new. That's what's really cool.
Nice.
So make sure you guys are coming out here to check and hang out with them, and come talk and learn. Definitely with someone that has way more experience than a lot of people in this whole field, and just tasting it and being around it. And we're gonna put links down there so y'all know how to get here and everything. And make sure you are subscribing, commenting, getting on there and watching every single video. We got the podcast for Food and Beverage Magazine that we're doing, and on Instagram and Twitter we're posting something new every day. And so next time, guys, we're gonna chill here and maybe pour a little bit and drink up. So take it easy, guys.
Cool. Bye.